It is time to continue the story, and it is time for the final GB3 race of the weekend here at Spa. We've had two incredible races, and I mean, the scenes you're seeing right now of Spa, it looks glorious, it looks picturesque, but the conditions we got on circuit do not match it. At the moment, the rain has come down, and it leaves us set with some GB3 race coming up in prospect. Hello everyone, and welcome to round number 9 of the season. It's the third weekend of the championship, and we're all set and ready to get going. Well, hello everyone, welcome. It is time for action around Spa once again, and it's going to be quite the fun in terms of racing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this race is going to play out. And it's going to be definitely one which we'll need to keep an eye on quite a bit, because it does seem quite dramatic and we don't know what's going to happen. Freddie Slater, we mentioned the fastest lap around the circuit. It's a 2 minute 15.881. That lap time was broken, and now Freddie Slater 2025 is the record. 1921 is when this place was opened, and it's been a race circuit which has been open for such a long time, over a century now. Unbelievable stuff. 2 DRS zones, if we're able to use that with the current wet conditions, who knows. And it's going to be an absolutely extraordinary GB3 race, we'll hope. As I mentioned, 2 DRS zones coming your way, and 19 corners as well, and everyone finds themselves on the grid at the moment. It's Hugo Schwarzer who is on pole position for this race, and it's going to be quite fascinating to see how it's all going to play out. It is a wet circuit. Oh, GB3 around Spa is going to be extraordinary in the rain as well. Let's hope the rain doesn't come down too much, so we are actually able to get proper racing going. Of course, the GB3 Championship partnered by the BRDC as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of this season is going to be like. It's something crazy like round 6, where there is clashes with F1 rounds. But I'm happy that we're able to record some of these and bring them to you on delay. Some GB3 racing. Because, I mean, missing GB3 at Spa is, like, so disappointing if we were to do so. We would have missed Zandvoort, we would have missed Spa. We would have missed even Frecker at Spa, so I literally wouldn't have been able to do any Spas at that rate. How disappointing it would have been to not be able to do any in these championships. But they are trundling around it right now. The rain light is on, and the track is declared wet, as you can see. Our timing systems will start working in a moment's time. And it is time for the cars to make their way out there onto the circuit. The green flag flies, and GB3 is underway, and we make our way off the line and down towards turn number 1 then, and turn 1 of the circuit, which is definitely going to be quite interesting indeed to see how it's all going to unfold and how it's all going to play out. Alex Ninovich, let's see what he's going to be able to do. We'll run you through the whole grid in detail in a few moments time. They go through the source, and they'll now be learning and seeing how the track conditions are. It's Hugo Schwarzer who's on pole position alongside Kai Darianani, who's in 2nd place. Patrick Kuzumoda is in 3rd. Noah Lyle starts in 4th position as well. We have Lucas Lucia in the pit lane, by the way. And Deegan Fairclough as well. Dion Gowda is in 5th, and then it's Will McIntyre who is in 6th position on the grid. That's your 3rd row. So let's see what Dion Gowda is going to be able to do. Keanu Al-Zahari is in 7th. It's Hayu Yamakoshi in 8th as we get ready for our first wet race of the season. GB4 had a brilliant wet race where it came down all the way to the end last time out. So I'm excited to see what this one's going to have. Ninovich, our winner from race 1 in 9th. And he is going to be going alongside Nikita Johnson. Then it's Gianmarco Pradella in 11th. And Kanato Lee, our winner from race 2 in 12th. Abby Pulling in 13th. And then it's Yuan Pu Sui who goes from 14th place. The number 56, of course, driving for Argenti with Prema. Reza Siwarathan is also part of Argenti with Prema, and he starts in 15th. Jack Sherwood, who bought the safety car out yesterday in a race, he finds himself in 16th. Flynn Jack is in 17th. Stefan Bostanjiv is in 18th, and then it's Lucas Flusha in the pit lane, and Bianca Bustamante finds herself then in 19th on the grid due to that. Divi Nandan is in 21st. Deegan Fairclough starts in the pit lane, as I mentioned, and he is in 22nd. And then at the back of the grid, it is still Mr. Freddie Slater looking to try and move forward. Okay, so cars trundling around this circuit, and we'll hopefully be getting ready to go racing very, very shortly when the conditions do it. I mean, the circuit's dry, but these drivers sometimes may get given extra laps to get up to grips with this circuit. So I'll be interested. It'll be interesting to see whether they are given it. Okay, I'm going to momentarily hand over to Lewis McGlade. I'm going to keep it on my screen, but I'm going to hand over to them for a second. So if there's any other information, they can give it.
So that's not majorly a shock that the drivers starting from pit lane are on the slicks. It does seem as though it might be the more aggressive call. Let's go with that. And Deegan Fairclough, who's already slated to start from the rear end of the field, might as well take that gamble. Meanwhile, Freddie Slater, who's starting along on that rear row of the grid, we believe is already on the slicks. There is Lucas Flusha, ready to start his race again from the pit lane on the slick. That gamble. Meanwhile, Freddie Slater, who's starting along on that rear row of the grid, we believe is already on the slicks. There is Lucas Flusha. Come in.
There we go.
Bray heading up the hill into the likes of Les Combes, which does give me a little bit of a concern. Into the pit lane then comes Pat Huizenrode for the XL Motorsports team. So there is a taker into the pit lane to get off of the wet tyres and already go onto the slicks. That could be a very good call, considering the majority of the grid are on the wets.
Here we go, everybody. GB3 is gonna be extraordinary. I cannot wait for this race to begin. Deegan Fairclough is in the pit lane. We believe, according to Lewis McGlade, that Freddie Slater starts on those slicks as well. They line themselves into position. Pat Huizenrode, off go the wets, on go the slicks. This could be an extraordinary fight to the front of the field. What is this race going to have in store? Well, it is time to go GB3 racing. It's a standing start. This is going to be dramatic. Cannot wait to see how this one is going to play out as they all make their way through. This is going to be action-packed. GB3 is about to go racing. Some drivers have gambled for the slicks. Most of them on the grid are on the wet. The green flags waved at the back. And at Spa, 5 lights come on. GB3 is underway and racing down to turn number 1. A great reaction time from Kai Darianani, who takes the lead away from Hugo Schwarzer. Down to the braking zone we go. Will McIntyre sending it up the inside further back. Is he going to be able to make his way through? He's going to be wheel to wheel with Noah Lyle. And immediately, the tricky conditions, the drivers meet as we make our way towards a Rudin Radion. It's side by side between Kai Darianani and Hugo Schwarzer. Who gives an inch? It's going to be Hugo Schwarzer, who momentarily retakes the lead. Absolutely wild stuff then as they make their way through. Phenomenal GB3 action, and immediately who's roaring their way up? So Slater still finds himself at the back. The wet conditions are going to be interesting to see. Why are people gambling on the slicks if it's still so wet? It's GB3, we don't know what's going on. It's side by side, and that is Hugo Schwarzer reinstated to P1. Darianani is in second place, Lyle is in third, moving through, or at least attempting to, as Will McIntyre. Keanu Al-Zahari's in there as well. So Al-Zahari finds himself in the mix. Down to the braking zone we go. Around the outside goes Keanu Al-Zahari, trying to gain another position. He's round the outside of Noah Lyle. All the way round to the place. Superb stuff from Al-Zahari, who's gained 2 positions there. He's got past McIntyre, and he's also got ahead of Noah Lyle. Now he's trying to defend it. Lyle tries to fight back. What a start. What an extraordinary start to GB3 around the Spa circuit. We knew it was going to be dramatic when we saw the rain falling, and it absolutely is proving to be. Pradell, meanwhile, having to defend further back. And he has got one of our contenders up there. So I'm interested as they go past this sector point. How is the order looking like? So it's Schwarzer, Darianani, Al-Zahari, Lyle, McIntyre. Is there anything interesting? Where is Slater? Has he gained positions on those slicks? Slater's in 17th. Okay. Fairclough, Flusha, Huizenrode, of course, started in the pit lane. They're making their way through back. I'm trying to close in on this, which, to be fair, they're already on the back. No, sorry. No. Flusha and Huizenrode are on the back. They're both battling, actually. Fairclough is about 10 seconds away right now from Nandon. So. It's going to be fascinating to see how the tyres come together and how this race goes. Slater's gambled and he's taken another position. Could it be a fight all the way from the back? Unbelievable stuff. They all take different racing lines. This is extraordinary. GB3 around Zandvoort was quite challenging for the drivers to try and make overtakes. GB3 around Spa, different story. It's action-packed, it's chaos. It's unbelievable, as we expected. This is the reason why we wanted to cover this, because who knows with this race? Slater started at the back. Could he even win this? I mean, it's a gamble. If Fairclough or Slater win this, imagine from the back of the grid, what a story that would be. I wouldn't want to miss out on that story. Alex Ninovich putting some pressure on McIntyre now. The race calms down for the moment. They've enabled DRS in these conditions. Unbelievable stuff. DRS is enabled. That's wild. I don't know about that one. Slater's up to 14th, by the way. Where's the rest of them? So Fairclough is now 7.7 seconds away from Gouda. Gouda dropped down massively. Gouda's had a terrible opening lap, by the way. So I've just seen that. Gouda, who started, I think, was it on the 3rd row of the grid in 5th or 6th? He's found himself dropping all the way down. And it's a complete different challenge that he finds himself with. Does Dion Gouda. As we make our way through, it is going to be Schwarzer, Darianani, Al-Zahari, Lyle, and McIntyre. That's your top 5 at the moment. Ninovich has got past McIntyre, so that's a move for 5th position, which has just come on our leaderboard. Didn't see that with the cameras, but that is a move that's come in to the bus stop chicane. As we await, and await. Oh, we cut away from it. We were waiting for the field to make their way into our shot, and we were waiting there for about 5 seconds, but they moved it away because they noticed that it would take quite the age for them to get there, because they're only getting there now. I've done a whole yapping of sentences in between that. It's a little bit too early from the race director, TV director rather, the TV direction. Can't believe they've opened DRS. There's so much spray. Formula 1 would never think about it even in this, surely. It's dry at some parts, but I think down towards La Source it's slightly wet. And don't know. I'm all for opening DRS. I don't know. Alright, let's see the spray down this Kemmel Straight. Is it appropriate? Is it appropriate to be enabling it down the Kemmel Straight? Let's see. There's still spray. I don't know. I feel like this one could have just been better off without DRS. But we have got DRS. We have got Keanu Al-Zahari on the attack, trying to charge around the outside, trying to make a brilliant move in these wet conditions. It is not the only battle that's going on. Slater moves up to 12th position, by the way. Slater is going for it. He's on the charge. Does the circuit dry up in time for the people on those tyres to make their way through? Oh, very nearly contact. Flynn Jacques gets really onto the back of Rita Seaworthen. So that's Jacques trying to get past Seaworthen. Down the hill we go to the braking zone. What a race. What a race that we are seeing in GB3. And surprised that these slick runners are able to run without... How is Slater able to pass and run through this second sector? There's so much spray. The racing line, I mean, has developed. Okay, so... Right, maybe not as bad as I thought originally. Okay, maybe not as bad. There's a racing line, and the reason why it's looking worse is because the wet runners are going to the damp patches. Yeah, okay. So the wet runners are going to the damp patches. But still, it's impressive that they're able to keep this pointing. If this gamble works, it could be extraordinary. And Freddie Slater leads that gamble. Unbelievable. Rolling of the dice could just work. This is outrageous stuff. To the braking zone of the bus stop we go. Is anyone else? Okay, into the pit lane there. Into the pit lane comes our race leader. Hugo Schwarzer comes into the pit lane. Everyone else continues round once again. Well, most drivers do. Is anyone else peeling in? Slater has got past Abby Pulling, and Freddie Slater has the fastest lap. That is your indication that the circuit conditions have changed. Freddie Slater's setting the fastest tour, and it means that it is time to take off the wets, to put on the slicks. That's exactly what our race leader Hugo Schwarzer is doing. Unbelievable. This is phenomenal stuff as they make their way through. Down the Kemmel Straight we go. This is for the race lead. Keanu El-Zahari drawing alongside and taking the place. Keanu El-Zahari hits the front at Spa in the wet conditions as he takes P1. Incredible stuff from the Alpine Junior. And he gets past Kai Darianani, who drops down to second place. Noah Lyle in third, and Ninovic is directly behind. Johnson was putting some pressure on McIntyre. Did those positions change, I wonder? Controlled stuff from Al-Zahari. Assist, of course. Getting the assistance from that DRS, of course. So Johnson couldn't get ahead of McIntyre, by the way. However, Ninovic, does he try? Fancy his chance on Lyle. He's pulling to the outside into P1. Surely they're not going to remain wheel to wheel. Do they arrive in our shot wheel to wheel? No. Back to single file. Car 33, which is Hugo Schwarzer, has a 10-second time penalty for out of position. He's the driver running at last. Why are we shouting? He was our leader a few moments ago. So our race leader a few moments ago, Hugo Schwarzer, finds himself with a penalty being given to him. That's gravel being kicked up by one of our contenders. I think one of the rodents kicking up the gravel. But yeah, Hugo Schwarzer was our race leader a few moments ago. So that's critical, because when Hugo Schwarzer will find himself, surely when everyone else comes in, surely Hugo Schwarzer will find himself one of the highest contenders in the field. Surely that will be the case. So that is going to affect him massively then. Does Al-Zahari dive it in? He doesn't. Neither does Darianani. Does anyone dive it in? Who takes the risk? Who takes the gamble to pit? It's a whole train at the front right now in the battle to win this one. Really hard on the defence. Here comes Will McIntyre in the background. Do they all get through the source? As they make their way through. And it is going to be another opportunity down the Kemmel Straight. And Kai Darianani is finding himself looking in his mirrors because there's passing everywhere. What a race! Unbelievable. I don't believe what I'm seeing. I cannot believe what I am seeing. This is box office GB3 content. Race of the season immediately thrown in there. This is what we love about this category. This is why I wanted to start covering this. Of course, to watch the stars of the future. But like Formula 2, like Formula 3, we have a thing that comes along with it, and that's entertainment and action. Oh my god, GB3 is quite something. When it rains, you just know what you're in for. But I feel like it's quite brave to open the DRS, but it's working for the moment. Incredible. As they make their way through. So, lap 5 out of 11. 3.5 tenths of a second. Noah Lyle, 5. Make that 1.4, so he's lost time. The timing's up there sectorally, so I'm of course reading what it was in the last sector, but then it all changes in a second. Of course, the GB3 is available on YouTube, so get my commentary synced up with the official feed. And get to enjoy in all its glory. We love a bit of poetry in motion, don't we? We absolutely love that. I was just getting a message, by the way, if anyone saw me go on my phone. I was getting a message by someone regarding my commentary, my TikTok commentary that I posted. Of course, taken from JB Motorsports. So yeah, I was posting it on my personal thing, and the result of it has turned into a lot of hate comments by lots of people. So, yeah, let's just say not a lot of people like the commentary. At the moment, Slater to 6th place. He is on the charge. It's Freddie Slater, and he is passing them all. The man who started in 23rd, about to take another position. Surely Freddie Slater's going by, and he's moving past Alex Nedovic. The driver who started in 23rd is flying. He's going past Will McIntyre as well, and now he finds himself with 3 cars ahead. Here we go. You are watching Freddie Slater pull out of the slipstream momentarily. He has a think. He can't commit. Extraordinary GB3 stuff. The tyres are in his favour. Freddie Slater trying to stand on the power. That will be 3rd in a few meters time. Freddie Slater roaring by. And there you also see the number 4 of Nikita Johnson in there as well. Reza Siwarathan runs out wide, and we've got a car off into the gravel. A car is off into the gravel. A dramatic few moments in GB3. And that is Bianca Bustamante, I believe, who's gone off the road. That'll be disappointment for her. Okay, in the pit lane is Stefan Bostanjiv. Stefan Bostanjiv is in the pit lane. Let's take a look at a replay of Slater mugging everybody. Unbelievable. Action. This is great. What's going on the circuit? Passing is the answer. Does anyone get by? Slater from last on the grid to the lead, doing his best Gabriel Bortoletto impression. He took the gamble. It could have gone 2 ways. It could have been him spinning off into the gravel, like we've seen Bianca Bustamante do a few moments ago, or it could have been a gamble that takes him to the lead, having started last on the grid, and that is exactly the case. On lap number 6, Freddie Slater with the lead. That is unbelievable. Absolutely outrageous stuff. We are battling for 3rd position down to the braking zone. Will McIntyre is late on the brakes. Does he slow that one down? He just about does. It's close to contact between the 2 of them around the outside. So Johnson has to get on the brakes. We have Ninovic who goes through. Keanu Al-Zahari, Seaworthen out of the slipstream. And he is going to prove himself that he's a contender because he's moved up to 2nd place. This is unbelievable. I thought the GB4 race was good last week in the right conditions. You would have heard Lewis McGlade momentarily mention it. This is unbelievable. This is to another level. A driver from last on the grid to P1 in the race. The gamble works and it rewards him with 1st position. How often do you see a driver go from last to the lead? Unbelievable stuff. Will McIntyre taking the lead. We're very nearly 4 wide. DRS, red conditions, wild stuff. We take a look at some replays going on of some of the racing. Unbelievable. That is going to be Hayu Yamakoshi in the pit lane. That'll be wide. Kanato Lee roaring by as well. He's got the grip. He's on the dry patch of the circuit. He's got Al-Taheri ahead. I don't know what's going on with Bustamante's car. Does another hill speed driver roar through? Kanato Lee pushing on at this stage. Absolutely extraordinary. GB3 racing. Rita Siwarathan. 2.6 seconds is the gap between himself and Freddie Slater. Some of the most wildest scenes I've ever seen in this GB3 championship. We go through. Could Freddie Slater seriously be on for the win? Could he seriously get there from last on the grid? It looks like it's going his way for the moment. That's all out of shape though. For Al-Zahari. This is one of the greatest. GB3, oh my word, what was going on in the pit lane? And that is a dramatic moment as the tyre comes loose, I think. What happened there? I didn't fully analyse that. All I saw was a tyre flying. Here we go, we're battling once again. Dive Bomb City continues in GB3. Late lunge incoming. That's Kai Darianani up against Deegan Fairclough from the pit lane, moving himself up. Hudson-Roder is there for company as well. Down to turn 1 we go. Al-Zahari defends to the inside. Alex Ninovich has had enough. He's coming to the pit lane. Deegan Fairclough roaring through. Surely by the time that we get down to Air Rouge, there will not be a contest between himself and Keanu Al-Zahari, and the high-tech man will emerge in front, and he will take 4th position as we're wheel to wheel into Air Rouge. Damp conditions, and Pat Hudson-Roder absolutely passes Kai Darianani to take 7th place in the race. McIntyre gets out of Al-Zahari. They're side by side. McIntyre chops across. Al-Zahari has to tuck back in. God, this race. Pat Hudson-Roder is about to roar through around the outside. Does Al-Zahari know he's there? Al-Zahari blocks the inside. He runs wide. Hudson-Roder stands on the power, and Hudson-Roder takes the place by the time we go down hill, and he takes that position. 6 minutes to go. Let's momentarily see if there's any news from Lewis McGlade.
Based on where we are, it should be about 3 laps left, so we should get the entirety of the 11-lap race distance in, dependent on where we are when we cross the line. It takes about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to come around the circuit. Obviously, the slightly slower speed than what we'd see in the dry around here, because wet weather, weird enough, you can't attack the racetrack quite as fast. There was a move open. Noah Lyle opened the door for Dion Gowder to come through into the top 10. So Gowder in the XL Motorsports car was the one trying to make the move there on the exit of Puon. He had the inside line as they were leaving Puon, and he has indeed completed the move as he now looks down the inside.
So yeah, we're seeing the battle go on between them all, and I was just looking to see whether he had any information on anything that was going on at the moment. Down to the bus stop chicane we go. It's 5 seconds between Freddie Slater and Reza Siwarathan as we have 5 minutes to go in GB3, and it is the fastest lap previously being set, of course, by Freddie Slater on the last lap, and we go down to the braking zone. So it is going to be Kai Darianani now running in 10th, Gowder's running in 9th, Nikita Johnson in 8th. I'm surprised this race hasn't had a safety car, to be fair, considering we've been running with conditions like this. I think Bustamante was able to continue, as now we see Jack Sherwood trying to get down the inside, I think. So as we make our way through, here we go. I'm gonna have to get the grids up for this race because you know, who knows how our top 3 are gonna finish in this one. I'm gonna have to get the grid in my picture once again. I was just momentarily listening into some of the commentary as well. GB3 starting grid, race 3, Spa. I'm just checking the grid at the moment to be able to, you know, just so I know who was where. So Reza Siwarathan, for example, we see a car make their way through. Reza Siwarathan started 15th. Kanato Lee started in 12th. Fairclough started in the pit lane. Hudson-Roder started in the pit lane. Unbelievable. I cannot believe what we're seeing. This is unbelievable stuff going on in GB3. We should be able to hopefully get to 11 laps in total. Some race it's been. So we're of course going to see Freddie Slater do it from 23rd and last. Reza Siwarathan from 15th. Canartoli from 12th. And then we have Fairclough and Hudson-Roder from the pit lane. Unbelievable scenes about to come your way, everybody. Freddie Slater about to do the last of first edition. So, it's going to be interesting. I cannot wait to see. So, can Huizenbode put some pressure on Fairclough is my question. The gap is 0.7 of a second between those two drivers. Make that 0.6 of a second. So, it'll be interesting to see what he's going to be able to do as well. So, Siwurthen just trying to defend from Kanatali all the way to the end as they make their way through. This is going to be unbelievable. And I cannot believe that we're about to get this. I mean, I was commentating on Gabriel Bortoleto winning the race, if as I remember, in Monza. I was commentating on that race, and I was like, you know, we're never going to get that for a while in any racing series. You'll get it online, you'll get it in esports, but you're not going to get it in real life. That is about to change. So, our championship leader is going to be scoring no points by the end of today, which I find absolutely ludicrous. Unbelievable. Freddie Slater will go around for one more lap. And this is going to be one of the best laps he will ever do, because he is about to complete things that you only see in esports. Unbelievable. We go on to the final lap of the race, and Freddie Slater about to go all the way from last on the grid to the win. We saw it last year with Gabriel Bortoleto. We're going to see it this year. But this is in GB3 rather than Formula 2. But we've still got second and third to resolve. Siwurthen, Rita Siwurthen, has his mirrors full at this stage. We go through Rouge and Radion. Big chance for Kanato Lee to take second place away. These two drivers join Slater with the gamble. They're going to get their reward as Siwurthen tries to defend. Kanato Lee attacks. Kanato Lee attacks all the way to second place. On the last lap, we're going to do battle for fourth and fifth as well. Huizenbode, can he move ahead of Fairclough? He's inching ahead, I think, further back, and I think he's done it. Huizenbode gets past Fairclough. Does Fairclough get the chance to fight back, is my question. So Kanato Lee takes second place. It will be a hill speed 1 and 2. Unbelievable stuff in this race as they make their way through on the last lap. These are some of the moments where you just need to stand up and try and attempt to comprehend what you have just witnessed. And what we have just witnessed has been absolutely extraordinary. By Freddie Slater, by Kanato Lee, by Rita Siwurthen, by Pat Huizenbode, and by Deegan Fairclough. Our top 5 went for all of the risks. Freddie Slater about to make his way through to the end of this race. He had a big risk to take. He started 23rd and last on the grid, and he is about to see the flag as the race winner. A big decision had to be made. The big decision was made. The big decision was to go on the slicks. He had to keep it on the road during those early laps when the conditions were so tricky. Now he's going to get his reward on the slick compound tyres. The gamble will pay off. The man who started 23rd and last in the race is the winner across the line. Freddie Slater does the last to first around Spa. The gamble that he took has paid off. Kanato Lee is going to go from 12th on the grid to second. Rita Siwurthen will go from 15th on the grid to third. And it's going to be Huizenbode and Deegan Fairclough who will go from the pit lane to 4th and 5th. Fastest lap for Huizenbode at the end as well. Unbelievable stuff. Slater has done the job. And in a weekend where his car broke down in qualifying, he had to start every single race from 23rd. This race, race 3, he finds himself seeing the flag as the winner. And after what we saw last year with Gabriel Bortoleto in Formula 2, I didn't expect to be able to see this so soon in real life. Freddie Slater, from last to first, is your winner. Wow. Goodness me, we're battling all the way to the end. Outrageous. Outrageous stuff. I cannot believe what I've just seen. I mean, I had that yesterday in the Porsche Super Cup qualifying. It doesn't look like that's gone well in TikTok. Me not being able to believe what I see is not a good thing, everybody. I hope everyone here on JB Motorsports, though. I hope everyone on JB Motorsports enjoys it and loves it. Definitely not the TikTok motorsport population, though. Okay, well, that brings the end to GB3. We're going to wrap it up there. It's quite a busy day, but we're going to wrap it up there. That brings a close to GB3. We have seen one of the most unbelievable things complete. Freddie Slater doing the last to first in real life. Now, my eyes will immediately turn to round 4 of the season. I cannot wait for what more is to come in GB3 2025. We'll see you then. Goodbye.